Peter Sleep, how a passive manager spotted Woodford red flags in 2011. Peter Sleep, center-left, and Neil Woodford, center-right. At a portfolio advisor event in 2014, there is a theory that nominative determinism suggests that people gravitate towards jobs that fits their name. There may be some truth to this, as I am passive fund manager. How is it then that a passive manager spotted the red flags in Neil Woodford's funds early on? The answer is a few basic due diligence steps and a bit of healthy skepticism. When I meet an active portfolio manager, I do not think looking in the whites of their eyes is useful. Some fund selectors may find this useful, but I am a terrible judge. Clearly I meet the manager, but I prefer to look at their list of holdings, which helps form a judgment. I did precisely the same with Woodford in 2011 when he was at Invesco. I looked at his list of holdings and what I saw amazed me. The top 10 were pretty traditional Woodford income shares like tobacco stocks, big pharma and large telecom companies. I thought the top 10 holdings were bold because it excluded many big index stocks, oils and resource companies, many of which were good dividend payers. What was outside the top 10 caused me great concern though. I think I have a good idea about most of the companies in the FTSE 350, but I was surprised at the number of small companies and at the number of his unquoted companies. If you looked at the public fact sheet for the fund, there was no indication that any of his fund was unquoted. Kryptonite to stock prices. Looking at the companies themselves, it quickly became clear that Woodford held very large positions in many medium and small companies, in many cases up to 30% of the issued share capital. These companies may have been listed, but the sheer size of the position rendered the companies illiquid. Additionally, some of the companies were not only pre-profits and pre-revenue, they were pre-business model. None of them had a place in an open-ended income fund. Invesco is still working its way out of many of Woodford's purchases, bearing out my observation. When Woodford left Invesco and started his own firm, he simply bought the same companies again, taking roughly 20% stakes in many of the same illiquid companies. He bought 30% in these companies at Invesco and 20% of these companies at his own firm. No wonder these stocks went up and no wonder his performance looked so good. Woodford managed £32 billion at Invesco and £16 billion at his own firm. The sheer weight of money going into the same stocks drove up their prices. We all now know what happened when the money stopped flowing in and flowed out. The process reversed. When Woodford started selling his stakes, the hype went out of valuations, and having Woodford on a shareholder register became kryptonite to the stock price, compounding the underperformance of the fund. Woodford's undo. For more on this story, visit the news article link.